Yo, what's up, my brother? In today's video, I want to talk about abundance because you have been lied to by many dating coaches. A lot of them have told you that you need to have options, right? If you have options, you are going to be abundant. And if you're abundant, it means you're going to attract more and more women and higher caliber women, right? But that's not true. And the reason why it is not true is because I have worked with dating coaches, meaning that dating coaches came to me between 2 to 4 dating coaches. If I need to remind myself of how many dating coaches I've worked with, all of them were having issues with abundance, even though they had results with women. Yep. I know it sounds maybe crazy, but this is the reality. What you see on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram is the facade, right? Everyone has it. The reality of many dating coaches is that even though they have results with women, they might still feel a lack of abundance. And that's because it is not connected to your results. And it sounds super counterintuitive, right? Like, why? Yet, why dating coaches and other men that have results with women still don't feel abundant with women, still don't feel good enough, still don't feel fully confident? So you don't need to date women you don't like to have options. You don't need to warm up in social situations. This is a pretty crazy one for a lot of people because how do I warm up then? I spent the whole day on my computer. How do I become social like this? I'll give you one exercise at the end. You don't need to date multiple women at the same time to be abundant. None of that is working. And in fact, if we take this one, let's say you want to date women you don't like. If we look at the law of attraction, what you're signaling to the universe is that you are not ready to date a woman that is your 10 out of 10. You're signaling to the universe that you're ready to date a 6 out of 10, right? So you're going to keep on attracting this kind of woman, and it's going to be really hard to attract a high caliber woman. Now, you might tell yourself right now, well, maybe not, right? If I practice with the 6 out of 10, then I can move up to the 7 out of 10 and then the 8 out of 10 and stuff like that. You can do that. But how does it feel to have sex with a woman that you don't really, really like? Well, maybe it feels good when you come, but then it doesn't feel so good. I know that from my experience because I have done it. I'm not talking out of my ass right now. I have done that. I have settled down for less because I was feeling scarcity. I was feeling like fucking lonely and not abundant and all of that. And so there was a woman that liked me. So I was like, okay, I'll just do it. But the truth is, I didn't feel good doing that. And I was wasting my time. I was wasting my energy. And I could have met a woman that was really reflecting my standards instead of that, right? But I was not doing that back then. So you don't need all of that. Like, take that out of your mind. Seriously. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your energy. You've been lied to. And that's okay. I've been lied to as well. All good. But seriously, like, no high leg count is needed. You don't need to approach thousands of women to feel abundant. And in fact, you don't need success to feel abundant. And I'll explain you why. Now, take it with a grain of salt because, of course, if you want true abundance, you need to have success. But the success, as you will see later in this video, has to come first internally, right? That's why the dating coach that I have worked with in the past were dealing with scarcity even though they had results with women. That's because internally, they still didn't feel good enough. They still didn't feel the real confidence. They still didn't feel abundant. And even though they had 4 or 5 dates a week, and they had rotation of 2 to 3 women, they were still feeling this lack. It's because internally, it's not happening, right? Nothing is working internally. You can have all the success outside of yourself, but if within yourself you don't feel good enough, you don't feel confident, you don't feel abundant, it doesn't matter how much success you have. In fact, you can look at many businessmen or entrepreneurs that keep on working so hard, so hard, so hard, even though they have it all. They have the supercars, they have the beautiful woman, they have this and that, and they keep on chasing something that they don't even know. That's because internally, they don't feel abundant. They're still in scarcity, and that's why they're chasing so hard the success, right? So what you need to understand about this is that abundance equal frequency, equal your vibe, equal attraction. Remind yourself of that every day. Abundance equal frequency, equal vibe, equal attraction, right? If you feel abundant with yourself, it means that your frequency is aligned, right? Is aligned with your true self in that sense. Because if we look at it really logically, you should be abundant. You have no reasons not to be abundant. Now, yeah, you do have reasons not to be abundant, but ultimately, you don't have any reasons. And if your frequency is aligned with abundance, you're going to have an amazing vibe, like truly powerful vibe. And if your vibe is that powerful, then you're going to create attraction every single time that you meet or date a woman. I mean, maybe not every single time, because of course there's a question of like chemistry and whether you like her or not, but you will have this kind of vibe, this kind of energy that just command respect and attraction. Okay? And I'm gonna dive today into the model of how to feel abundant without dating success. And I know it's like, what the fuck is this shit? But just stay with me right now, okay? Just stay with me. So the first step that you really want to understand is know your worth. What I mean with this is that you have to really like spend a few days on actually looking at yourself and observing what is actually your worth. Now, let me tell you this straight up. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be like having a Lambo or six packs and stuff. I don't have a six pack. I don't have a Lambo, none of that. Yet I know my worth and I know I'm super valuable. Your personality itself can be valuable for a woman, right? The way you live your life right now can be valuable for a woman. Not all the women, but some women will like it. And you need to recognize that. So I want you, as an exercise for this video, to really make a list of everything that is about you and your life that is valuable. And I don't care if you think that, oh, when I'm playing video game, it is not valuable. We can talk about that, but for some women, when you play video game, it's cool. Some women also play video games and they love when a man plays video games. So that means that this woman, for example, wouldn't like to be with me because I'm not into playing video games anymore. I was playing a lot of video games when I was 15, 16 years old, but not anymore. It's not my thing anymore. But I know that some woman will be so much into a man if he was playing video games. Now, it's not the only thing, of course, but that can be one thing that can make her feel like, oh, I like this guy because he's playing the same video game as me. He's playing World of Warcraft. Cool, right? So I know maybe it sounds like, bro, come on, no girls like it. But have you met a woman that is into playing video games? I've met some, and they do enjoy that. So make sure to really have this list of all the traits of your personality, of what you can give to a woman, what you can like, and what I mean by what you can give to a woman is like what kind of experience you can give to a woman, right? Make this list and see like, oh, actually, I have things to offer. We can go to watch a movie together. I have this specific thing about my personality. I have this weird thing that I'm into, blah, 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 right? Now, if you have really nothing that is interesting about yourself and your personality, then you know that the work is about making your life more interesting for yourself, which will naturally make her more interested in you. But you don't do it for her, you do it for yourself. Why do you live such a miserable life? Wake the fuck up. If you have a life that is not interesting right now, why are you allowing yourself to be in this situation? Make yourself and your life interesting for you. not for the woman. And then, of course, the woman will see that. But you have to recognize that as well. Like I said, know your worth. Now, when you've done that first step, what you need to understand is that there is probably a voice within yourself that is telling you that you aren't enough, that you aren't good enough. Yeah. And this voice, if you try to ignore it, it will be annoying you the whole time because it's your shadow, right? You can try to ignore it, but your shadow is following you no matter where you go. And the sun is here, man. So the shadow is always here. Yeah. So for this, you need to go through the inner work to actually deal internally about, like, you want to understand, why do you feel not good enough? What led you to feel not good enough? What is the story about this voice that is telling you that you aren't good enough? Because you probably noticed that it's a voice. It's not really you, even though it feels like you, but it's a part of you that is telling you that you're not good enough, right? Ultimately, if we look at it like from a distance, you are enough, right? You have something to offer, maybe a little bit, but you have something to offer, right? So you want to talk to this little voice. You want to start a dialogue and you want to start healing this voice. You want to start integrating this voice. You want to allow this voice to see things differently, right? Because this voice that is telling you that you're not good enough probably has a story to tell you. Oh, I don't feel good enough because this happened to me in my childhood. I was bullied in my childhood. My mom was beating me. My mom never gave me a hug. Blah, 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 right? This is actually my story. So, I had to deal with this because internally I was not feeling good enough with women, even though, oh, you're a good looking guy, you have green eyes, you're tall, blah, blah, blah. But dude, I was not feeling good enough. So when I was 20 years old, I had no results. I lost my virginity when I was 19 years old, and it was really hardcore for me to actually learn confidence. So even though I was like tall, good looking, blah, 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 I was not having any results. I had to learn all of this. And this, for a lot of people, they don't understand because they think if you have good look, that's enough. No, it's not enough. This is the thing. Like, dating is in a way hard. Even if you're good looking, you will struggle because you need to be confident. This is the real thing. You need to be abundant and stuff like that. So you have to integrate this voice that is telling you that you aren't enough. It doesn't matter how much you achieve. You can have all the success you want. That voice will still be there to tell you that you aren't enough because you have to deal with it internally. This is why a lot of men decide to work with me, because they know that they have to do the inner work, and it's not something that you can learn on a video. You have to work with someone that has the experience, that has learned the tools to deal with that, so that you can integrate it, heal it, and then change the story of like, oh, actually I am enough. And I believe it. It's not like something that I'm faking. It's like I'm truly feeling that, right? So when you've done that work, naturally, you're going to start to be able to take aligned actions from a place of abundance. Because now that you can feel, oh, actually, I can be abundant within myself. I don't need to do all of that. I am abundant right now. I can tap into that. So then from this feeling, from this energy, you start taking action, right? You could be basically telling yourself, oh, you know what? Today I'm going to go to a mall and I'm going to meet some woman there because I really feel it from this energy of like, I'm abundant. And you'll be surprised about what can happen when you start taking aligned action from this place of abundance that you have created within yourself because you have done the work of knowing your worth and integrating the voice telling you that you aren't enough. That's the beauty of this kind of work. You first work internally, which means that you don't have to expose yourself outside. I mean, you can if you want to, but you don't have to. And when you start to feel ready internally, like you feel secure, you feel, okay, like I'm ready, I can be rejected and I'll still feel good, then you know you're in this abundance frequency. And it's a good place to start taking action, right? Then, and this is the tricky part, it's not because you have you know, you have integrated the voice telling you that you aren't enough, that you know your worth, that you're gonna, now surf into a wave of love, of like compassion, abundance, confidence. You will have sometime this little voice coming back, and you'll have to deal with that. So fourth step is deal with any forms of resistance to your success. So the internal work is not finished. When, for example, let's say you have a session with me, a one-on-one session or a group session, and we integrate this voice, right? We heal it. We find the story, we rewrite the story together so that you start telling yourself that you are enough, and that you actually start to feel it. When you will go outside and start taking aligned action, you might feel a bit of resistance. You might start doubting yourself and stuff like that. You have to deal with that also, right? You have to stay with the frequency of like, I am enough, I am abundant. But don't ignore that voice. That voice has something to tell you, and you have to deal with it constantly, okay? And then, if you apply all these things, naturally, you will start having success. Because when you come from a place of abundance, confidence, feeling good enough, and all of that, naturally you will start creating attraction with women, you will start having dates, and you will start, creating intimate experiences with women. So as you have this success with women, you have to celebrate and reflect on your newfound successes, right? So that means, like, I was talking to my client today, and he said to me, yeah, when I had sex with my ideal woman, like a woman that would have felt outside of his league back then, right? But now it's like he's fully aligned with it. He went, what did he do? I think he ate something that was super unhealthy, but he enjoyed it because it was like, yeah, I want to celebrate. I want to experience success, the success that I have, and I'm going to celebrate for this. And then what he did is also reflecting. So he was basically looking at what he did good and what he did bad. And he was just checking like, okay, well, I did this good, I did this bad, great. I'm learning from that. I'm integrating the lesson. Great, right? Because a lot of people reflect when they have failures, but you also need to reflect when you have successes, right? It's very important. And if you do that, you should be able to feel abundant in your dating life. By the way, this is my girlfriend that wrote it to me just before the video. I was not planning to keep it, but I was like, fuck it, I'll just keep it. So thank you for watching. If you want to attract 1 or 2 dates a week with your ideal woman, I have a free course available. So you can check the link down below in the description. It's totally for free, so you can just get it. Like, you give me your email, you receive it in your email. I'm not gonna spam you, so it means that if you get annoyed by my emails, you can unsubscribe anytime. All good, brother. And you get free value. It's a proper course. Like, you're gonna get some practices, you're gonna get some tons of value to actually change your dating life. So if you're ready for this, make sure to click the link down below, and I'll see you on the next video, my brother. See you.